Welcome back to Reliving Retro, Season 2, Episode 3, Super Mario Land 2. And we have a very special guest on, so I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. Go ahead,
Hi,
Ash.
guys. Hi. My name's Ashby2040. I mostly do Twitch, TikTok, but I like to play a lot of retro gaming, new gaming. That's about it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Breaking down barriers over here, having the first female guest on, and
Thank you.
yeah.
That's exciting.
So, real quick, introduction to gaming. When did you start gaming? Like, how old were you? Maybe what was your first console? Stuff like that.
Well, I always remember my brother. He was 4 years older than me, and he had all the game systems. And I remember him playing the PlayStation 1, and I was never allowed to play it. But my first game console that I can actually play is the PlayStation 2. So that's kind of where I grew up on, PlayStation 2 and up.
Nice.
Cool.
So, if you don't mind me asking, roughly how old are you?
Roughly.
I'm 25. We'll say 25.
Well, I was gonna say because that's probably like a generation or two like after like I started. So, because I'm 32, so I started on like the Super Nintendo. So that's why I was just kind of curious. What are your favorite types of games to play? Like platformers, RPGs, stuff like that?
Mostly platformers. I'm not the best at platformers, but I know I have to get from A to B, and that's easy for me. So I just platform.
Honestly, that's probably the thing that I like most about platforming too. It's like it's not super complicated. I can just kind of sit down, pick it up, and play it whenever. So real quick, Patreon episode is next week. It's $5 a month to support the Patreon, and you can go on there. You can put your suggestion for a game to play, and we will be picking our next Patreon game because we're going to be picking one at the end of this episode, but our next one's going to be episode 8, so we will be picking that episode 7. So get in there before that if you want us to play the game. And we are giving away one of the Patreon, we're giving away one of the games that we play this season to one of our patrons. So far we have Link to the Past, Resident Evil 3, and Super Mario Land 2 to choose from. So if you want a chance to win one of those games and you want to support the channel, go ahead and head over to Patreon. There's a link in the description. And so we played Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy. It's our first portable game. I was looking forward to that. I played this game quite a bit when I was a kid. Never beat it. Anybody else have any experience playing this game before this week?
I never played it.
No, neither of you, huh?
I bought it at a yard sale, and I have it somewhere on my desk, and I've never played it. I've always had it, but never played it.
Nice.
Cool.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool that you actually have the physical version. I don't have the physical version. I used to, like I said, when I was a kid, but yeah, so I emulated it. Yaiser, I know you emulated it as well. Ash, did you?
Yeah, I emulated.
Cool. The gameplay I saw from you, Ash, was you actually had the green on green. Like it was like Game Boy colors and stuff like that, but it wasn't. Did you play the DX version or did you play like the original version or?
Honestly, I had to scroll through RetroArch and I had to find something that was like remotely worked, and that was the first one that I found. So I don't know what it was.
Well, I think you played like the OG version, which is I think how we should probably rate it. However, I played the version that has color. So I'm gonna try and not let that affect my visual rating too much because this game originally came out without color. It came out in the Game Boy green on green, basically. It's like two or three different shades of green was all the Game Boy could do, I think.
Yeah, that's how I was playing it when I tried to play it on my phone at first.
Oh, the green on green.
Yeah.
It's tough to see things, right?
Yeah.
Even with
the
like
DX
a back
version looks crazy.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly. So across the board, did anybody beat this game? Yaiser, you can go first.
Yeah, I just beat it probably 20 minutes ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And Ash?
I beat it a couple hours ago.
Awesome. Yeah, I was watching your live stream of it, and what happened? The power went out or something like that right as you were about to get into the castle? Is that where?
Well, I was feeling pretty defeated because I had no lives left, and then I was about to, I don't know, I had to go get coins and get more lives, and then somebody told me about this jackpot. So I got my lives and I was going through the castle and my electricity went out right in the middle of it. So I lost everything.
Oh, Jesus.
I quit that day. That was it. There was no
Yeah.
more that day.
Yeah, I had
Rage
a
quit?
similar experience. Roughly how many hours did you guys put into it? Yaiser first?
Geez. Not probably 2, maybe 3. Not a lot. I use save state a lot, so every time I died, I just loaded right up.
There you go. Ash?
About 3 or 4, maybe like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I put about 3.5-ish into it. I definitely could have beaten it. I did not. And I didn't out of principle. And if you've seen my playthrough, it'll be up by the time this video comes out, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you didn't seem too happy when you called me there, buddy.
I wasn't thrilled. So I mean, we'll get through it, but just I guess we can start off. We can just start off with story if you guys are ready. So
All right.
so it doesn't say anything when you start the game, right? There's no, just like a Mario game, it doesn't explain anything. So I looked up the manual because I wanted to know, because I think that this is a very interesting entry into the Mario universe in the sense that this is Wario's first ever appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So this game introduced the character of Wario, who's a pretty iconic character in all of Mario now. So I think just for that aspect, like, this game's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
But so in the manual, it says, while I was away crusading against the mystery alien Tatanga in Sarasa Land. So that's where the first Super Mario Land takes place. An evil creep took over my castle and put the people of Mario Land under his control with a magic spell. This intruder goes by the name of Wario. He's been jealous of my popularity ever since we were boys and has tried to steal my castle many times. It seems he has succeeded this time. Wario has scattered the 6 golden coins from my castle all over the world. So you have to get the 6 golden coins to unlock the door to get into the castle, to then fight stupid Wario. So I think the story is actually pretty decent. Again, if you have the manual, you can read that. I gave it a 3.5, which I don't know if that's too high, but that's just how I was feeling about it. I like that the manual picks up from where the first Super Mario Land left off, and I gave it a big bump because of the fact that they introduced Wario, because I feel like that's huge. Yaiser?
Yeah. So I looked it up too. Actually, I looked up the story of the first one too, because I feel like I had to know,
Okay.
But yeah, I gave it 3. I didn't quite go as high as you, but I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was really cool.
I think
like you
that's fair.
said, the introduction to Wario, pretty cool.
Ash?
Oh man, this was the hardest one for me. I kept bouncing back from 3.5, and I finally landed on 4. But I thought it was such a good idea that they thought in 1992, let's pick off where we left off in the first game,
Mhm.
and while Mario's doing his own little thing and rescuing Daisy, let's have Wario take over the castle. I thought that was so smart, and I was like, okay, they got 4 points from me.
Yeah, I think it was a cool. I think it was a cool idea to have the beginning of number 2 kind of take place during number 1. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Anything else anybody wants to add as far as story goes?
Before I looked up the story, I beat the game before I looked up the story, and so I kind of just thought you just kicked Wario's ass and like took his castle.
Mm-hmm.
I realized.
Yeah, you're taking
our
your castle back.
Yeah, we're taking that shit back.
Yeah, because in what other Mario, like, does Mario have a castle?
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
none.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? So yeah, I wouldn't expect you to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely Mario's castle. Also, it's weird that, like, I mean, we can get in. Should we talk about this now for story? Maybe we should talk about the different zones, because it kind of gets into gameplay too. So I guess let's bridge that gap with the zones. There are 6 zones in this game. There's Space Zone, Macro Zone, Turtle Zone, Pumpkin Zone, Mario Zone, and Tree Zone. And I don't know about you, but my favorite zone in terms of gameplay was probably Tree Zone. I think it's like the first zone you go into, so it's probably the easiest. But in terms of music, Space Zone, that
Yeah.
theme song in Space Zone was amazing. But I'm gonna let you guys go ahead. Did you guys have a favorite zone? Yaiser?
I thought Mario Zone was pretty cool.
Yeah. Starting
Yeah.
off in his shoe and then going all the way up. Where
Yeah.
would you end off? In like his tongue
In his
or
hat.
something?
In like
Oh,
the
in his
whole
hat.
the,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
M
yeah.
on the hat.
Yeah. Do you go in his mouth at one point?
I don't know. I don't
I can't remember. Yeah. It
I don't
seemed
think
weird,
so.
but yeah.
No.
Ash?
It's funny that you said Tree Zone because I did think about this and I had too. Obviously, I liked Pumpkin Zone because I love Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought Tree Zone was so cool because the way the levels are set up, you start at the bottom of the tree and you work your way up.
Yeah.
So when the first level you're on the ground and then you make your way up to a honeycomb, and then the boss level is a bird in a bird's nest,
Yep.
and I thought that was really cool. So
Yeah,
that was
just
definitely one of my favorites.
yeah, just like the actual like development, like from one level to the next, how you progress higher and higher up into the tree. And you can see in the backgrounds too, like in the background of the level too, you can see like the leaves when you get up into like the higher levels. Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Turtle Zone was probably my least favorite because I hate water levels for the most part, and there was a couple in that zone. I feel like Space Zone only had I think 2 levels, maybe 3.
Yeah. Two,
I
I
think
think.
Tree Zone, and Mario Zone I think had the most levels with like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Pumpkin Zone was a lot like the ghost levels from like Super Mario World, right? Like there was a couple of because there was like a couple of levels I think that had like multiple exits, like that big hippo thing at the top too.
Yeah.
That thing had 2 exits because I remember I beat it one time and I was just like, how do I don't know where to go like to the other zone because I forgot Space Zone was a thing, but then you had to use the other exit in that one, and that was interesting. But yeah, we can go right into gameplay here. Ash, what did you give gameplay?
So I gave gameplay 3.5 stars,
Okay.
and I mean it's like a basic Mario game: A to jump, B to use your power ups, and I think they introduced the carrot power up for the first time, and I think that's the
Yeah.
only time they've ever used it.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Once you were like done with the level, you could just use that to safely glide to the end of the level, and I love that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
But
cheat code.
yeah, it was definitely, especially when you were getting stuck and you had to grind for some coins.
Mm-hmm.
I thought gameplay was great because of when you go through the end of the goal and you do a bell.
Yeah.
You got to play 2 different mini games to actually try to grind for extra lives or power ups.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the rat chewing the cords, which was really hard and luck based, and the platforming game, the claw machine, that was so much fun. I actually enjoyed that one. And
See,
then
sorry not to interrupt, but I think I liked the rat chewing one better because it was like, to me that was like, it was a little bit more fun of like trying to figure out where it was going to go. But it was also probably because every single time I tried to get a carrot on the claw machine, I got a heart, and that was just incredibly frustrating to me.
I got a heart
I couldn't figure out the timing. I just couldn't do it.
In the rat game, I got a heart every single time.
Are you serious? How?
I don't know.
You probably solve Rubik's cubes too, don't you?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just hit the 3rd button, and every time it would just go to the heart.
That's funny. Ash, did you have anything else you wanted to add to gameplay? I cut you off a little bit there.
Pretty much with the gameplay, we already talked about the 6 zones, but I thought with it being non-linear, I'm so used to level 1-1, level 1-2, to be able to pick which zone I wanted to go to first and get the harder ones last. I thought that was good gameplay.
Yeah, it's almost Mega Man-ish in that aspect, except you don't get it like a like a weapon or something like that from every boss that you beat. But yeah, I thought gameplay was really good. I gave it a 3, and here's the reason why I knocked it down. I think I was going to give it like a 4 or a 3.5, and the reason why I knocked it down is because there's no checkpoint in that castle, and that drives me insane. Every Mario game that you play has a checkpoint in the castle, like every single one. Super Mario World, like all of them do. So I think it's crazy because that's a pretty long, like, castle run until you get to Wario. And I'm not even joking. I'd say I'm decent at Mario. I'm nowhere near like the Mario Kaisos guys or whatever, but like in terms of like casual Mario players, I feel like I'm okay at the game. And so I do feel like the controls were a little slippery. Like I was constantly slipping off of like platforms and stuff like that when I felt like I nailed the jump. Again, maybe that's just me, but I had like 20 lives going into the castle my first playthrough, or my first attempt, I guess, at the castle. And I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone. And then I had to then go grind for some coins and then go try to get a jackpot, right? So Ash, you hit the jackpot. The jackpot is you get 99 lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it. I got 20. Yeah, I spent
That's not bad.
999 coins and got 20 lives, and I was just like, man, is that like the worst thing you could get from this slot machine? I don't know what the worst thing you could get was, but I was hoping for like 99 or 50. I got 20. I was like, all right, I got these 20 to play with. I'm gonna go do that. And then with 3 lives left, I finally got to Wario. I couldn't tell you why or how I died so many times in the castle, but I was just expecting that there was going to be some sort of checkpoint like halfway through, and there wasn't one, and I was kind of floored by that. So I dropped it down a little bit because of that. I thought that was a little rough. Because otherwise, I think this game is fairly easy. Up until that castle run where you have to do, I don't know, the part with the slamming Wario fists. I did not know that was a booby trap that you set off. Until I set it off maybe 3 or 4 times, and then I saw like the little glitch in the floor, and I'm like, oh, am I setting that off? Am I doing that? Am I stupid? Am I the one that's doing that to myself? And then so I had to go back and keep jumping over it. But so I gave gameplay a 3, like I said, because of that. Yaiser?
Not bad. I went 3.5.
Okay.
As someone who's not a huge fan of platformers, I thought this was a definitely a step up gameplay wise from the original Mario Bros. And NES.
Oh yeah.
Basically, just because you have what seven different bosses, right? Which is cool, rather than fighting Bowser 8 times.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, having the carrot, that was fucking awesome. Just pretty much skip levels sometimes if you wanted to.
True.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was pretty cool. 3.5.
All right, Yaiser, you want to get it started with visuals?
Visuals. Yeah, sure. I gave visuals a 4 actually.
Okay.
Now, if I rated it on green like original Game Boy graphics, I probably would have gave it a little less. But I don't know. I think again, all the enemy designs and all the boss designs and the world designs are like really dope in this game. I thought it was pretty awesome. Especially, I think the space boss is probably the coolest, right? You guys agree?
I think he was the hardest for sure. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. But I think like the coolest looking too, I think. But they were all like pretty dope looking. I thought it was pretty cool.
I especially like the 3 little pigs boss. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was fun.
Ash, what did you give visuals?
I actually gave visuals 4 stars as well.
Okay.
The grayscale didn't, well, it was like green, but it didn't really bother me. I was like, it's 1992 Game Boy, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think they made up with it. Does Mario usually turn red when he has like the fire flower?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Red and white, right?
Yeah.
And in this game, they gave him that little feather in its cap, and
Yep.
I mean, to show it's a good visual. And then what really got me was the different zones had different themes, so I was never really bored in any of the levels. It didn't look the same, they didn't play the same, and then with the bosses matching the themes, I really liked everything. Everything that I saw was really nice, so I can't complain about it.
Yeah, and I mean, clean sweep across the board. I also gave it a 4.
Cool.
I think the sprites in this game are pretty incredible for what the Game Boy could do. I mean, this is a Super Mario World sprite. It's not like if you go back and look at the original Super Mario Land, it's night and day. It's not even close to the same sprite. Like and just, you know, the levels and like pretty much everything you guys touched on, I feel like it was, you know, it was really, really good. I did I couldn't give it like a 4.5 or a 5, although I don't really know how many Game Boy games are getting a better score than this one, because I mean, I don't know what you're doing in Game Boy that's going to really look a lot better than this. But I think I took it down from 4.5 to a 4 because of like just the green. and I'm trying to, like I said, I think it's going to be hard to give anything for the Game Boy a 5 visually, but I think a 4 is a really, really good and fair score. And
For sure.
I thought I was going to be super high on it until both you guys went, so I feel confident keeping it at a 4. Ash, you want to start off with sound?
All right, yeah. I gave sound 3 stars, and I thought it was great for the 8-bit. Whenever I was playing a level, everything was catchy. The music was catchy, but I swear I played Mario's Castle 80 times, 80 different lives. I don't even remember what it sounds like. I bet I could pick it out of like 5 different soundtracks, but like I can't remember what the sound. I can't remember any of the sound, but in other Marios, I can distinctly remember a lot more than I do in this game. So it was catchy. I gave it a 3. I can't go higher. I can't.
All right.
I think that's really fair. Yaiser?
I went 3.5. Coming off of our episode 1, I had to give original Mario Bros. A 5, right?
Yeah.
That's a given. But yeah, like you were saying, they were catchy songs, but they're not quite as memorable, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And the sound effects are like the same, I guess. So basically, just judging it off soundtrack, which they were cool songs. The end credit song is actually pretty cool too. But yeah, I landed at 3.5.
Gotcha. I didn't get to the end credits, so I'm gonna have to look that one up. But I did think that, honestly, I was probably at like 3.5. But when I heard the space theme, I was like, I'm bumping it up to a 4 because I love this sound. The track for Space Zone was absolutely fantastic. I think that the overworld sound gets pretty annoying hearing it constantly. So that's why I didn't give it anything higher than that. And I think the sound effects are just, they're pretty good. I think they're actually really good for what the Game Boy can do, but as an overall game, I think they're just kind of whatever, they're nothing too crazy. There was nothing that really annoyed me as far as like sound effects go.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't dock any points for that. It was really just I felt it was, above average for a sound for like a soundtrack and like the sound effects in the game. And then I felt I needed to bump it up because of Space Zone, because I felt like that was really good.
Cool.
Yaiser,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel that this game aged?
I gave it 3.5 stars for aged. I had a lot of fun playing it, actually. And
Okay.
from someone who doesn't, like I said earlier, I'm not the biggest platformer fan, but something that I had a lot of fun with. Didn't feel, again, old. I say this about every game on age, if it feels old or not. It didn't really feel like an old game.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. I gave it a 3.5.
Nice, man. Ashley?
I gave age 3. It was super fun for my first time. I don't see myself playing this again for a while, unless I started speedrunning it, but it gets old, and then Mario's Castle is kind of defeating, so I'd say 3 stars.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I think so. Here's kind of what I think of for aged. It did feel like I was playing an old game to me because of control limitations, right? The Game Boy only has 2 buttons, so they kind of had to get creative. There's a spin jump, and I was happy that they were able to implement it, right? So it's normal jump and then down is how you spin jump. But as far as age goes, I'm still not completely set on my score here. I think I'm gonna go 2.5, which sounds harsh, I think, but
I don't think so.
But I guess I'm looking at other Mario games, and I think that this just ages like worse than some of the NES games did, and the Super Nintendo game, which came out around the same time. Again, different console, different capabilities. So I think part of it is just that it's a handheld game for me. So a lot of Game Boy games aren't going to age very well in my eyes. So 2.5, it's right down the middle, right? As you guys are always like to say when he does it 2.5, because you feel bad, I think, putting it at 2.5. But it is it's half of 5 stars. That's the most we can give. So it's a 50%.
That's not that bad.
It's not the worst rating I could have given it. It's definitely not the worst aged game we've played. Superman was by far way worse. But but yeah, I don't know. I gave it a 2.5. I think it's all right. It's fine. As far as like reliving the game, do you guys recommend it? Yaiser, you can go first.
If you never played it before, I would say so. Yeah, it doesn't take long to beat. It's not like a big time-consuming game that you gotta waste a bunch of time on. I think sure, yeah, give it a shot.
So, would you recommend if somebody said, "Hey, I can only play one of 2 of these games right now," would you recommend this over the original Mario Bros?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a little surprising, but it's fine.
Really?
I mean, it's the other one's a lot longer, so like it has more. But I mean,
yeah, but it's just more.
It's the same. It's the same
shit
thing.
over and over
Yeah.
again.
This is more varied. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Ash, would you tell people to relive this game?
Yeah, of course. Play everything once, at least. I mean, this is a good game. It's not that bad. It's easy in the beginning.
Yes.
So when you say play everything once, do you include Superman 64 in that?
I mean, sure. Yeah,
We did
you guys played it.
Yeah, that's true. I wish I hadn't, but no, it's okay. It's not that bad. It's pretty bad actually.
It's very bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So okay, I would also recommend that you relive this game. I think especially for a Game Boy game, it's probably, I don't see how this isn't like a top 10 Game Boy game for everybody. Like if you've ever played this game and you've played a ton of games on the Game Boy, I assume this is in your top 10 list for games for the Game Boy. Because I mean, I just feel like for what it can offer for a Game Boy game, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Our overall ratings, Ashley was the highest on it at 3.6, and me and Yaiser were both at 3.4.
Not bad.
Yeah, so not far away from each other at all there.
Yeah.
And Ashley, we always ask a guest to recommend a game for our master game list. I am going to randomize a game first, and then I'll announce what we're playing for next week. And then after we do that, you can recommend a game.
This is my favorite part.
Is it?
This is
The part where we describe the game and you have to
No.
try and guess it?
yeah. The randomization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that then. All right. So, pulling this from our Patreon list. So again, if you want to add a game to the Patreon, $5 a month to support the show. This is a card battle game.
Ooh.
Released in 2003 by Konami for the PlayStation 2. Anybody, any guesses?
I think I know. Do you have a guess, Ashley?
Not a good one. Go ahead.
It's Duelist of the Roses.
Yep. Yugioh, Duelist of the Roses for the PS2. This is one of my favorite games for the PlayStation 2, actually. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one. This
I
one's
think
gonna
I
be a lot of
rented
fun.
this from Blockbuster way back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've had some experience with it?
Yeah, I played it a little bit.
Very cool. Ashley, have you ever played it?
I have never played it.
Interesting. Okay. So we're going to be having a guest on. It's going to be Jim from the podcast Drink a Beer and Play a Game. And I mean, that kind of sounds right up our alley. So
Yeah, right?
figured he would be a pretty good guest to bring on. And he's going to play Duelist of the Roses with us. Ash, what is your recommendation for us to add to the master list?
My recommendation, listen, this is one of my favorite games. I'm going to say Spyro the Dragon for
Okay,
PlayStation
cool.
1.
Cool. You know what's funny is I actually just before we started doing this podcast, that was one of my like bucket list games that I had never really played when I was a kid. So I really wanted to play through it. So I bought the Spyro trilogy for the Switch and I played through it and I 120%ed it or whatever. And that was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Good
So
one.
I would definitely be excited to play this one again. And Yaiser, have you ever played Spyro?
Only like at a kiosk at GameStop or something like that. Maybe Walmart
Oh, like
or
back in the
something.
day?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's interesting too. Ash, what are your favorite levels from Spyro? Because I love the ones where you have a time limit and you have to fly through the world and collect all the things before the time limit's over.
No, those are my least favorite. No. Oh my god. I don't know. I really like. It's so hard to be put on the spot. I like anything except Beastmakers. That's my least favorite world. I
Oh,
like
really?
everything else except for that.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I love whenever I could get to the point where I'm like, oh, sweet. Now I have to figure out like the best path to take through this. Like I'm flying through this entire world and have to blow up all these trains and whatever. Like that was, those ones were so much fun for me. Like it was challenging, but they were a lot of fun. I like those ones a lot.
A level came to my head. Dark Hollow. You'll see it. It's in the first world. Best music ever. I love that one.
The music is really good in that game.
Yes.
Yeah, that one will be a lot of fun to review for sure. So, I guess that's pretty much it, right? I mean, does anybody have anything else they want to add about Super Mario Land 2?
It's a good game.
Does anybody want to go back and play the original?
Yeah.
Oh, the first, yeah, kind of.
Interesting. You know what? I played the original a lot more as a kid than I did play the sequel. I think you guys should definitely go back and play it and just look at the difference for visuals. Like it's amazing. Like the character sprites look so much better in the second one than they do in the first one.
Yeah, I
It's
think I
pretty
read
amazing.
like storage wise, number 2 is like 4 times the size of the first one.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like again, I almost want to go back and like try and change my score to get it up a little bit higher because for a Game Boy game, I really don't know. Like I'm thinking like off the top of my head, like Pokemon, is that the only game I'm gonna like more than this one? Probably.
Probably. That's what I was thinking.
Ash, do you have like any other like favorite Game Boy games?
The only Game Boy game that I remember playing a lot was Mary Kate and Ashley, License to Drive. I was
Okay,
obsessed
well
with that
I'm
one.
putting it on the master list. Why didn't you say that?
You're not gonna like it. Maybe.
Do you like it? Is it a sentimental game? Is it one of those that's like a guilty pleasure? Like I played it all the time when I was a kid, so it kind of like it hits for you.
I think it was just one that my brother bought me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll play this." And then Mary Kate and Ashley were big back then, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do this. I can drive." It was fun. I've never beaten it, but it's fun.
They had a ton of games. Like they had a bunch for like the PS1 and stuff like that too. It's kind of crazy.
They had a lot movies, everything.
Yeah, they were huge. It's insane. All right. So next week we are going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses. I'm so happy. Very much looking forward to playing that game. I'm going to try and get some gameplay of it up onto the YouTube channel, which at the time of recording, I think we're at 99 subs. We need one more for triple digits, and that would be nice.
More.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're almost there. Hopefully by the time this comes out, we're over that. But if we're not, then whatever. It's fine. I'm not sad about it. So yeah, join us next week. Definitely go check out Ashley. You want to plug your Twitch again?
Ashwee2040 on Twitch.
Yeah, so go ahead and join Ashwee2040 on Twitch. And you also have a TikTok, right?
Yeah, it's really cringy, so be aware.
I mean,
Aren't they all?
It's really bad.
No, it's great stuff. Go over there and join her on TikTok as well. And thank you so much for joining us, Ash.
Thank
We
you
really,
so
really
much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anytime. If you ever want to come back, like season 3 or whatever, then just hit us up, and you can have a spot, as I say to everybody else.
Sign me up.
Very cool.
For sure.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.